Alright, we got ourselves a Kurt, whatever enough, 20,000 pound hitch going on here. Putting the bumper on. Is that the same place the bumper was sitting before?
Yeah, it's just not bent now. Because it was bent out of whack because they backed it into things.
Oh yeah. You can still raise that technically.
Almost.
Almost.
If we notch it a little bit, you can.
I wonder if I should just go get like a 2.5 receiver or use the sleeve.
I would, it's up to you.
Because I already have one.
So, but yeah, you could take the sleeve if you wanted to and stick it in there.
So you welded this to these?
Nope.
No?
The bumper brackets are still separate.
Oh, okay.
So, this hitch is good for all of the 20,000 pounds it's rated for. It is welded straight to the frame.
Nice.
So,
well, you know, there is no direct, well, this actually is the bolt-on that goes to this truck, right? Except we had to weld it on.
This is a weld-on. These trucks only had weld-on hitches.
Oh, okay.
Because they're straight frame trucks, they're not
This particular one, there's your, does it have the model number on it? I can't tell if it does.
No, it doesn't. It's on the
I'll
box.
see if I can find that.
Box is over there.
Where's the box?
So this is the biggest hitch money can buy.
This is the biggest hitch. I don't see, I'm trying to find it. Oh, here we go. Here. No, that's got the address of the place we ordered it from. Well, I'll put it into the description. It's got to be here somewhere. I'll put it into the description. Anyway, so we wanted to get a hitch onto the rig. And I wanted it to, what we were gonna do, build it from scratch. And over here in this box, I had gone and bought myself this. And I was gonna just go get some 3-inch box, weld it together. But and by we, I mean Michael over there, decided that the best thing to do would be to do what we did. And by we, I mean him. And by we, I mean I paid for it. So, you know, this truck being a 2010 International 4300 by Navistar, the Durastar, has a gross vehicle weight of about 20,000 pounds, has about a 5,000 pound carrying capacity inside the vehicle, with a 66,000 pound towing capacity. So whatever I'm gonna pull behind this thing is not gonna care. Other cool thing about this, as I demonstrated in earlier video, is that you can raise and lower this thing. So do you think that the airbags on here, what are the airbags rated at? Because we're gonna be adding tongue weight to this.
But you're not adding not much tongue weight.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Wait, it says it holds 5,000 pounds inside the vehicle.
Yes, this hitch is rated for a 2,000 pound tongue weight, which is the max tongue weight.
That means I have a 5,000 pound tongue weight.
So that means you'd have to. If you had another 3,000 pounds in the truck besides the tongue weight on the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you won't max it out.
So like I could have a trailer on here and a bunch of really fat chicks.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you could fit enough in there.
Oh, you don't know me. you haven't seen me on a Saturday night. All right, so there's all kinds of things happening on this truck. I mean, it is it's a mess, but this is going to be nice and clean when we get the trim back on here. Before I bought it, somebody had backed in here and put a little damage here. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to fill this in with aluminum like this. And I decided to change out the 3 bezels for the single 3 bezel piece, right? You can get this little plastic deal, and this would fit on any rig. These are Wayland 600s, I believe they're called. Is that a 6 to you? That's a 600. So we're gonna instead put this bezel here. These are about $100 or whatever they were. I just think it's gonna be a cleaner look. And we needed to change these gaskets. And by the time I priced out fixing that one, and I was like, you know what, I'll just change out these bezels. It'll be pretty. Here, let's stick that in there. Doesn't get jacked up. And then, so we're gonna make that pretty. We're building a matching trailer that's gonna match the rig. So I've ordered more of these Wayland 900s These are the strobes. I mean, I'm just pointing at them, but you got the scene lights and then you got the strobes. So I've got a pace trailer that we're going to do a piece on soon. And that trailer will be the color matched with the same reflective white stripe in the same height. And then we're going to put the same matching lights. We just got this from Harbor Freight, the Vulcan 220. What do you think? You recommend? Good welder?
It works decent.
I mean, for $1,000 bucks.
Yeah. No, it works pretty good.
Harbor Freight is not a sponsor. They're not a sponsor. You can say whatever you want.
I just have to learn how to use it because I'm used to using my old school mill.
Well, it's got the easy, like when you turn it on, it's got instructions. I mean, it sets itself up. You just tell it the gauge of material.
It was welding too hot. I actually had to turn it down and turn the speed
Really?
down when I set it for this because I was welding 1/4 inch. And
Did you change the wire?
Yeah.
You running gas?
Running gas, running
Okay.
wire, took
Okay.
it all in. Took me a little while until I got a good weld out of it. But now that I've got,
right, so
I
I had
don't
to
like
turn
the
it
gun.
down. Everybody says the gun sucks. And by
gun's
the
a
way,
piece.
well,
The gun's garbage.
you got to change that tip with that other tip, maybe.
I already did. I mean, I'm using the correct stuff.
No, but the shield tip.
That's for the flux core.
I guess. Everybody says these tips suck and the gun sucks. So we may order a better one.
That's all I would recommend. A better gun, and I think it'd be a good welder.
You always need a better gun. Okay. So, whoops. On the last video, we showed this step, automatic step with lights. Got the locks working. So one of the cool things about this particular rig is you have a central locking system, and we'll show that in here in just a second. Got this little light here. Let's show off what we had done on the inside, because all this is all brand new. So, so let me grab the keys. All right, so put in a remote system that locks and unlocks every single lock. So like you can have this open. Now it's locked. That is what makes these bigger coaches cool. Now, we don't have the rest of this in here because we're still working on it, but let me turn the power on. This radio here is super cool because it's actually a single DIN unit, meaning it only takes up this one, but the screen covers both. So this control panel we moved down so that we could fit a double DIN. Now, behind this screen is actually a space where you could easily put a double DIN, but it's too far away. And sorry for all the noise, but that's the noise it makes. This 4-camera system I talked about before, now we have it hooked up. We don't have the other cameras hooked up, but now I can have my rear view. This is my overhead view. We're gonna add another camera down below that will see just the ball of the hitch. We're gonna have another view of my blind spot over there. And then we're gonna add a fourth one that's gonna run all the way through the trailer and come out the back of the trailer. So I'll be able to see the back of that. Really happy with this. This is an Apple CarPlay unit. I'll put a direct link to this Sony unit if you wanna get one off of Amazon or something. I have to be able to plug my phone in to be able to show off really what it does. But has Sirius XM, which is an add-on adapter. It costs another 50 bucks. But a tremendous value, this particular radio, because especially for a truck like this, because you have the single DIN style. So if you've got a situation where you've got a single DIN radio, but you have space below it, it was really easy to adapt this. And it looks factory. And it's a Apple CarPlay unit with Sirius XM. I can easily reach this over here. What's great about this system is that I can just hit camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. Right now we only have the one camera hooked up. Also, I want to mention, if you have one of these internationals, this switch fails constantly. Why? It's right by the window. It gets wet and gets corroded. My mirrors were not working, but now I replaced that switch and oh, wrong mirror. Okay, that one. Now they work just fine. I put this little temperature gauge there just so I can see. But anyway, these switches fail a lot simply because it's by the window, it gets wet, and plan on replacing it. So if you buy one of these trucks and your mirrors don't work, replace the switch. Take my word for it. We also replaced the steering wheel on one of the previous videos because when I bought this truck, it came with a bunch of extra parts. So, brand new steering wheel. The truck's not for sale. I'm not trying to sell the truck. I'm just showing you what we did. Down in here is a brake controller. This brake controller we added has to be mounted vertically, and I don't think the controls... Well, here's a picture of what it is, and I'll put a link to this if you're interested as well. So this brake controller has a separate screen and manual control for it. I don't know if it's laying down here or if he hasn't plugged it in yet. I don't know where it is. He's still working on it. But when we put this panel back, there'll be a little thumb controller here where I'll be able to control my trailer brakes, and then there'll be the little screen we're going to mount like right here. So I'll have a cool, it'll be like Knight Rider. I'll have all these cool screens in here where I'll be able to get to everything. Let's see. Oh, here's the pieces to that controller. So this right here is going to be my brake control for the trailer, and then this little screen will display the things I need to know about that. So this is what the cameras look like. This particular one of these cameras we're going to mount this mirror, or this camera off the mirror over there, because as you can see from my driver's point of view, right, I can't really truly see. So if I can zoom in. Like, I've got that bubble mirror, but it's kind of hard to tell. There's been a couple times I've been driving this big behemoth, and if you're in some little ass car, I can't see. Also, I can't really see the curb. Normally on a big truck, there'd be a window down there, right? On a professional truck, you have a window. And then sometimes you get what's called a down mirror, a mirror that sits right here and you can see straight down. Like when I'm driving my Prevost bus, I can look straight down and see the curb, and I can see my wheel, because on a bus, your wheels are behind you. And so when you're parking, if you want to get like that close to the curb, you can. So by using this camera we're going to put in there, I'll be able to pull that camera up and I'll be able to see the side. And I don't want to get too close where I'm going to damage my pop-out step or anything like that. So anyway, just showing off some of the stuff that we're doing on the rig. This thing is going to be so sweet. But I did want to talk about the hitch, because it comes up a lot on these forums. So yeah, I'm all dyed up. Got my mustache on point. Look good. So, you know, we're both members of several different van life forums and ambulance forums. And adding the hitch to these things is always sort of a challenge, simply because they've placed the box on top of the frame, and it usually extends past the frame of the truck good 4 or 5 feet. So in this situation, you have to figure out where you're going to put the hitch. And it also kind of matters what you're going to be pulling. I'm going to be pulling a 24-foot Pace trailer, probably weighs less than 4,000 pounds. I'll be pulling less than 10,000 pounds. So I'll be less than half of the rating of this thing. The truck itself has a 66,000 pound towing capacity, truck weighing, 15,000 pounds. So it's going to have no problem. And quite frankly, the aluminum structures of these things, I know this isn't recommended because, well, one thing you're talking about steel versus aluminum. Most people don't like to do any weld-ons. They like to do bolt-throughs. But if you wanted to bolt a hitch to one of these, you'd probably have no problem. Let's go take a look at another one of my ambulances that I have. Yes, I have more than one. And we'll look at the hitch that's on that one. All right, this one is a 99 Ford E350, which is still in my possession, but I've sold it. I'm holding it for the dude. Now, this is a, factory-built hitch. And I don't see the manufacturing here on it. It says V5 Northern Stamping. I guess that's who made it. And you can see it's a 12,000 pound, it says, I believe, or whatever. I don't know if it has the rating on it. But we'll take a look at how this one's attached. And this is probably not factory, or probably wasn't on it when it was an ambulance. But maybe, I don't know. Because usually you don't need to tow anything with an ambulance. So, but here's the rig, and not much to it either. Not much to it at all. So, I think this is bolted onto the factory of the frame of the Ford van. So probably a whole lot easier, sorry about my finger there, to get this one on here. So if you're dealing with a smaller type 3 cutaway, which is what this is, with a factory Ford, it's probably a little easier to do. The guy bought this ambulance is in Alaska, and he says when the ground thaws, he's going to drive it back. And it's a great little rig. I've been using it to go to, like, I went to Costco in it the other day and Home Depot. Changing the subject a little bit, I'm gonna show you another project we're doing on the other truck. On most of these, this little tray here, or this little door, will hold the battery tray and hold the, it's heavy, I don't want to move it. Anyway, you got a tray of batteries, so there's 2 batteries. You know, most diesel trucks require 2 batteries. There's 2 batteries here, but there's actually a third up front on this truck, right in here. But I want to show you what we're doing to the other truck, which, by the way, is called a Type 1, where the box is separate from the truck. I can't pass through like I can with that one. But this is a much bigger truck. All right, we'll talk about the next project. All right, this truck has a, I guess, what is that, a 50-gallon tank, saddle tank on the passenger side, which 50 gallons sounds like a lot, but not when you're getting like 8 or 10 miles a gallon. So what I want to do is add an additional saddle tank over here on this side. The problem is this is where they keep the batteries on this rig. They've got the 3 batteries here. Now normally a box truck using this rig would probably put the batteries on a tray back here under where the box would go. So we're going to remove all of this and change it out, but we need to relocate the batteries. So this is what our plan was. It was actually an empty box right here, just like most ambulances have this little box. And we had to do some modifications. We had to remove the little piston that holds this and had to cut this up. But I ordered this from a RV and trailer supply. Now I put this black and white tape and all the stuff on there because it's going to remind me what side the positive's on. It's just a little thing I did. But basically this was a couple $100, and this is a battery tray made to hold 3 of the large group batteries. I think group 31 or 34, I'll have to remember which ones they are, but I'll be able to put 3 of those there. We're going to relocate the battery cable from over on that side. We're going to run it over here with like pretty big cable, about as big as your thumb, and so that you'll be able to access those 3 batteries right here. And then I'll be able to add that other fuel tank over there. The fuel tank's probably going to cost somewhere between $600 to $1,000. And then we're going to have to do some modifications. We're going to have to figure out how their 2 tanks are going to connect and communicate with each other fluid-wise. But that would allow me to hold 100 gallons of fuel, which would give me better range and the ability to buy more fuel when it's cheap. Because that's really one of the tricks. It's not just about the range, because you're going to stop every couple hours to pee. The point is that you want to be able to get gas, especially when you're traveling like I'm going to be doing from east to west. When you get get gas in Texas, it's way cheaper than when you get it in like California. So you want to be able to fill up before you get there or wherever you're going. Speaking of batteries, this is our electrical cabinet. So what we're going to be doing in the next future video is we're going to be putting a 3,000 watt inverter here, a 20 amp charger here. The charger is going to put, this short power plugs in, routes to here, which normally went to a Vanner. It was a charger and inverter, but that's gone now. So we're going to send this power to my 20 amp charger. This cable is coming from those batteries over there. And we're probably going to come off of this with a isolated, regulated power trickle that's going to go to some batteries here. I'm going to put 3 more of those big batteries here that will kind of buffer zone that inverter, so that yes, it'll be getting power from the truck and it'll be charging from the shore, and but that way you're not just pulling amps off of the alternator and kicking its ass every time you fire up something. But most of the things I'm going to have in here are going to be low power items. We're going to have a little refrigerator, a little microwave, but I may end up adding a mini split. And if we do put the mini split in, the plan was to put that in here, where we would put the outside unit somewhere in here. We would cut a fresh air hole down in the bottom for it to suck air out. Then we would put louvered vents here to blow the hot air out, and that unit would sit right here. And then we can have a shelf where we can have other storage, because in here is going to be part of our water system. We're going to have a hot water heater right here going into where the sink is on the reverse side of this, and some other things. So there's a lot going on. If you're really into the van life you should probably subscribe and follow this series so you can see all the things we're doing to this truck and others. And this thing's coming along. It should be done. When's it going to be done, Mike? Tomorrow?
When's it gonna be done? Quit adding things onto the list and we might actually get something accomplished.
Yeah.
And trying to make it just so we could pull a trailer with it to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it has to have... Now, your dad mentioned we should put the stripper pole right here.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll put that right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds like something you said.
Yeah. A lot of projects happening here at the shop. You know, if this is your first time watching, you probably, you know, you don't know that we do things like this. This is the Back to the Future DeLorean time machine. My shop has built over 43 of those. I have a shop in Dallas, Texas, and I have a shop here in Las Vegas, which is where I am now. That's the Scarface car from Scarface. My old Rolls Royce. And so we're getting this shop together and we're working on all kinds of projects. Just ordered this mini split that's gonna go in this other workshop room. That's my old Rolls Royce that JR from Dallas used to drive. I bought that at South Fork Ranch. Of course, you know, I got the big Icon box. I recently just got the smaller one. We haven't put anything in it yet. But the difference between like the Icon stuff versus the regular US General, it's not even a question. I mean, this box, which is facing the other way, but it's like 600 bucks and this one's like 1,200 bucks. It's literally double the price, but the quality is there. You can stand in these drawers. I highly recommend the Icon stuff. For the money, I mean, this thing was what, 2,500 bucks? And you know, it's, I mean, for what it does, it's sick. Anyway, so this room in here is gonna be kind of a clean room, was the idea. The idea with this room was gonna be, it was a place where we could pull a car in like a DeLorean and do wiring. So I want this to be an isolated, cleaned, air-conditioned room. We're gonna paint the walls red, of course. So they're gonna be red with a black middle and then gray. We're gonna grind down these floors and epoxy them. And we're trying to make our own doors. I don't know if this is gonna work. The idea was to have 2 4x whatever, 7 doors or whatever. We're gonna cut a hole into this garage. We're gonna have 2 barn doors so that we could pull a car in here. And then that mini split's gonna go right there. And that was the idea. We're working on it, you know. This is the fridge I'm gonna put in there. That's my mattress that's gonna go in there. This door I bought, this is like a closet door. It's a 24-inch door. And that was the door I was gonna use for the bathroom in the ambulance. So these are all things that we're working on. Shop is like a total mess. These are some of the stuff we're gonna put in here. Like this is the charger that I wanna use. It's 20 amp, 3 lead marine style charger that can be left outside and it's fine. This is a 3,000 watt Duracell inverter that we're gonna put in there. We're gonna have an isolator on it. I'm gonna go get these batteries maybe tomorrow. And it's gonna be great. Bet you can't wait.
Yeah.
I keep moving this. This here, that's an impact.
I know, but you have no 3/8 impact sockets down here.
Yeah,
so.
but that's the impact drawer. It doesn't fit up there.
I use it.
You don't understand my thinking process.
But you're not the one who's using it usually.
Yeah, but there's no room in here for it. See, it's crowded. That's an impact. That's a wrench. It's not the same thing.
This is crap.
That's
That
fine
thing
for little stuff.
sucks.
It's for little stuff. That's for just tightening up stuff and loosening it, and that's for ripping shit to death. When you want to like rip the threads out of something, where'd it go? You use this fucking thing. This thing. That's how you just rip. You know. Now this thing will just tear your whole arm right off. So. I love how there's a charger drawer. This is a great system. Like the little saddles here for you got little holsters for your drills, which are all not in there because they're sitting everywhere and not put away. See, they're not put away. Well, that's my fault. I left that out there. Shit. Yeah, he's right. I just keep adding on more and more stuff. Like I bought this spotlight and I wanted to put it up on the top of the roof, and then it has a remote, and then that way he's like, what do you need that for? And I'm like, well, because sometimes you want to, you know, spotlight something.
Yeah. So you got, because it's obviously the hitch I could not bring out even with the back of the box. So So it's recessed some. So then that'll give you enough space for the pin, the chains, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like the whole thing will be cut out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like that. So that's all you'll see.
Fine. Well, you know, there's going to be I'm not going to take the receiver off. I'll just leave it on there. It'll be too much trouble to get to it. So
I mean, I over welded and over braced this thing, so.
How much wire do we go through? See, that's the real test. Let's see. Yeah, not that much. So, I mean,
I could do probably 50 of these before that spool run out.
what would we do with that Harbor Freight? We'd have
tools that were reliable.
Oh, it worked. the fucking hitch is on there. It worked. $29 a roll for that wire.
You ever use the Chicago electric welders? Those things were.
I've got a little 110 one.
Those things I got.
You know, but that's for like fixing a fence or something. Like one of these poles over there. You put a hitch on there. That's a 220. You know, that's a high voltage, full blown welder. I mean, where it fails is like duty cycle. If you were trying to run a shop on that, no.
Yeah.
But when's the next time we're going to use this welder? Like next
One of the options I do
year?
One of the options I do like is the adjustable post flow.
Yeah.
Where my welder is.
Well, that thing, you can put a spool feed on it. You can TIG, MIG. It's got the foot pedal. I mean, it does everything.
Yep.
It does everything just a little bit. Kind of like you.
Thanks.
This is my one of my extra spare buildings we're working on, and there's just stuff everywhere. Slimer having a conversation over there with Hannibal. You know, I have a lot of weird shit. So this room we're working on. Nice, he's got the. So we just did this today. Painted it red. Of course we painted it red. This isn't the red I wanted to use, but it was free. Because I already had a couple gallons of it. I wanted to use a brighter color. But this is gonna be our jam room. I have a band, and this is just gonna be our rehearsal room. So I thought I'm gonna give it a vibe. We'll paint it red, it'll be cool. I'm gonna put a ceiling fan up here and a big carpet, and I'm gonna have all my amps and speakers and the mixers and the drum set over there, and it's gonna be a little rehearsal space where I can jam. And then once everything's put together, you know, I'll put my pinball machines up. There's gonna be a kitchenette over there, a couch, jukebox. Like, it's gonna be a hangout. It's gonna be cool. And there's just like stuff. I have just, you know, this is from the band Gwar. I used to do videos for the band Gwar. Some Gwar costume stuff. Some Danzig stuff over here. A lot of Pantera stuff. I used to work for Vinnie Paul from Pantera at a band called Hell Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's Vinny's old golf clubs. For those of you that were fans, that was his golf clubs, the Big Bertha. Yeah, he was a good friend. I miss him a lot. Anyway, so little video poker machine. It is Vegas, right? There's Freddie coming out of something over there. So anyway, these are things that are happening in the world of Videobob. There's always something fun happening in my life. I guess that's why people like to tune in and watch what I'm doing. One minute I'm working on the Scooby-Doo van or Knight Rider or Ghostbusters or an ambulance or a cop car or who knows. But hey, this is what life is all about. You gotta have fun. You gotta do fun stuff. Let's go check out the house. Well, this is the same color red we used for this room. This is my office. It's very red. Well, I used it in my office. I used it in the hallway too. Looks. Yeah, hi. What you doing? Nothing. Me either. Okay, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I just want to do a little video update. If this is your first time watching, if you just tuned in specifically for the ambulance hitch, sorry I bored you with all this other stuff. If you're a Videobob subscriber, thank you for watching. And if you're trying to do the van life thing and you want to build stuff like this, stay tuned to this series. Tune in once in a while, maybe subscribe if that's what you're into, because we're going to be doing a lot more with this ambulance and with the trailer that's going to match it. When it's going to be a really cool camper rig, unlike any other that I've ever seen. You know, I always see people putting out videos that say van life on a budget. I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to do the baller van life. I don't want to do the budget one. I want to do the badass one. If that's what you're into, tune in. See you on the next video.